Guys, everybody, welcome. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us tonight. Tonight, I will be interviewing Gary Wright, owner of Hope Cartel, breathwork, 9D breathwork extraordinaire, and once upon a time, TikTok Gary. He now goes by Gary Wright. Gaz, thanks so much for joining me tonight, mate.
Appreciate it, brother. It's an honor and it was a no-brainer. As soon as you asked, I can't say no. So I love being part of what you created, and your my stories are like on lives and our social media account has been a big part, man, of each other's life. Of our stories, definitely entwined 100%. So when you did your new season, and I remember, I think I was on your first season, wasn't I?
You were, I believe, you were my first episode on Kick the Ship podcast season 1, mate. So that was 3 seasons ago now, and here we are again. Measuring your growth, basically. You've come a long way, Gaz, since then.
Thank you, mate. Well, I have, I suppose. I have, I have. I can't, I would be crazy to argue with that. And you know what? But on that note, I think that's the work you do within. Well, the work you do within, the reflection from that is what you project to the rest of the world. So, and I'm going to keep, it's still early days, Dan. I always say this. It's only just the beginning. I'm just getting warmed up. So, yeah.
I love to hear that, Gaz. And honestly, bro, I mean this. I actually don't know that I've ever met anyone as maybe almost as ambitious, but puts in the action. Like, you have taught me so much along this journey. Now, you and I have been talking live together for 3+ years now. 3 years, Gaz, we started doing this together. It is crazy. And like, I've watched you evolve, and I'm very fortunate to have a very good relationship with Gaz, where we speak often. And he hosts me. I go and spend the night. I go crash at his joint when I'm in Melbs, and I've just watched you really evolve, and not just that, but like, you are very strategic. I don't know if people realize how fucking strategic you are, and it goes back to the streets, doesn't it, Gaz?
Yeah. I'm an overthinker. Yeah, I'm a critical thinker, definitely an overthinker. I'm very, there's not much I do without thinking about it before I've done it, Like, so everything everybody sees on social media, or the whole Hope Cartel, or the breath work, or any content, there's not a lot of spontaneous stuff, and that's the joys of being an overthinker. But I just want to take you back for a sec, Dan, to where you said that, you've learned a lot from me, and bro, like, that's the gift that keeps giving, because you got to remember, I got into this fresh off the streets, fresh from a 5-year bender, backpack on, not knowing what the world had to offer. And I met you on live, and you're a massive part. I believe, like everybody says to me, and the rehab I work at, they're like, you don't do NA. Like, I've been to one NA meeting through the rehab I work at, and I say, but it's not that I'm not experienced in that space, because I work with you for so many years. Fresh into recovery, it was like the gift of all gifts. You are like, and I don't want to pump your tires up, but you are you're a heavy hitter in the NA space, in the meeting space. You're a veteran. Let's not lie about it. You're a veteran at it. And so it was like, and I didn't even ask you to be my sponsor, but it was like it's like technically you were. I learned so much about recovery and addiction, and the whole. Yeah, bro, the whole deal of getting sober and clean time and all the rest of it. So, and I sucked it up like a sponge, and that was all by chance. It was just by fluke, that was. So definitely, and if you've learnt from me other things, it's a gift that keeps giving, isn't it?
100%, mate. Yeah. Look, guys, I call Gary's like my TikTok mentor, and he reckons I'm his recovery mentor. That's kind of where it all started. And here we are, 3 years down the track. Really, we've come a long way, Gaz, and it's such look. So on that note, Gaz, I mean, let's do a bit of formality here too. Why don't you give us a bit of a quick rundown about what it was like for you? Because I mean, a lot of people know your story, but let's not forget that, because it's important that we really measure how far you've come. I asked a couple of people to send me that video of you originally doing laps. About to go for the job interview at the bottle shop, and I'm thinking back to then, and I'm comparing you to now, and bro, honestly, guys, it's like, look at you, you just look so fucking different. You look so much you look evolved, bro. You just look like a new man, you know. And so take us back to what it was like, guys. Give us give us 10 minutes of the fucking of the shit of or the grouse.
So yeah, you know, guys, as everybody's heard it, I suppose, but if you haven't, come from the western suburbs of Melbourne, a town out the west called Melton. Mum was a good person. You know, she worked all her life. She's a nurse. There was never a substance abuse problem with her. You know, we were just, our dads weren't there. So Mum had 3 boys, mortgage, 2 jobs. Money wasn't, you know, an option. Like, it was just something we didn't have heaps of. And I watched Mum work her ass off, and we were broke, you know, because she had 3 boys and a mortgage and no one to help her. And I didn't know that at a young age. So that was it there. And then in our area, it's like the lowest housing out the western suburbs. So it's the cheapest houses out to buy out the western suburbs. And so you get a bit of riffraff out there, you know, domestic violence, single mums, you know, drug affected, all the stuff that comes with the lower socioeconomic areas. And yeah, that was it, man. Like I also had a bit of a, you know, an extreme attitude on life. So even as a little kid, I was I need a bit more than the normal kid to stimulate my mind. I got bored pretty easy. And so that was it right there. And then low housing area, you know, not having money in the home, and then just a thrill seeking look on life. That was it, man. That's what steered me down the wrong path right there. And so there you go, you know, and I got validated really early as the bad boy. That was my identity. And so I just took it on. And if I was ever going to do anything, I really tried to do it good. So I was going to be trying to be really good at being a bad boy. And that was what a shit career choice, because that led on to a life of crime, drugs, jail, all the rest of it, being shot at and stabbed and 7 years prison, and then end up being an addict in my later years of crime, and become, you know, OD'd and all the stuff, all the yuck stuff that comes along with it, all the war stories and all the things. And yeah, and then at 40, decided to turn my life around, left the life of crime and drugs, jail and crime behind, and here we are today, man, over 3 years in, and I'm the owner of Hope Cartel, beautiful business, and I'm an online influencer, and I'm a 9D breathwork facilitator, probably one of the ones in Australia doing it on a high level. Can honestly say that. And yeah, man, I love it. You know, I love it. I love where I am today, and I love that I've still got room for more. You know.
Oh, bro. Well, that was a quick rundown. Thanks. Hey, just Sandy. I just want to give a shout out to your mum, guys. Sandy, yeah, you mentioned Sandy there. She's such a legend. I've been invited into Sandy's and Gary's home, you know. So big shout out, big love. Like, we're like family, mate. We're fucking family, you know. Guys, you skipped over that too quick. I want to go back for a second, okay? I drove through Melton with you, all right, in the car with another person who knows you very well. And we dug in a little bit about what it was like living in Melton. I never really understood that. I've never kind of been exposed to one little town that fucking just ran such a muck, and you had such a strong hold over that town. Now, I don't mean to. Do you mind? Can we just touch on that a little bit?
Of course, go, Dad. Yeah. You know, I'm an open book, brother. I've worked on myself, so I see all that. I'm very humble now, and I'm not a spruiker. I don't want to talk tough, but let's not lie about it.
Yeah, let's fucking go. Let's talk about that.
For a long stage there, I was one of the heavy hitters in the area, definitely, if not that heavy.
Not one. There was no one doing bizzo in that town without your permission.
That's correct.
Fucking crazy, bro. It's like for me, it's like watching American fucking I don't know, the fucking 5 boroughs. I feel like it's like real I don't know, it's cool shit, you know. It's not, guys.
And then like, let's not forget, in the end of all that, I walked away from a life of crime and being a persona in my area.
Yeah.
I walked away from a life of crime because I actually, beat really big figures, and I was looking at the rest of my life in prison, which scared the shit out of me, and slithered through the cracks and thought, you know what, I've had enough of that, and then became a raging addict. And so karma got me, man. From the guy that didn't take drugs and used to sell drugs to the guy that, mate, I was a homeless, washed up addict on the trap house couches, looking for his next rock, just slaving, man. I felt so ugly from inside and out, Dan, and it was so painful. But I probably deserved it. Let's not lie about it. Like I laughed at addicts for a very long time. I used to go, look at yous, mate. You know what I mean? Scumming around. Like, you want to rock, mow me lawn? I used to say, fucking all that. And then I become that. Oh, well, didn't that balance me out? Yeah. And like, I really believe it was all part of my journey to be where I am now. Like, I was a bad guy for a long time. Let's not lie about it. I was a bad guy.
Yeah.
And there's this stage that shifted in my about mid-30s that I wanted to be a good guy. But I don't think it was easy as just going from a bad guy to a good guy. I had to be the shit guy in the middle, And I think that was just part of it. That's what balanced me out. I don't know if you can transfer like that from being the bad guy to the good guy. Can you do that? So I think
that's not what happened really. Like it's a massive journey between being the bad guy to the good guy too. Like you've been through let's think not only some of the stuff that you've been through. Like that would almost be who the fuck it's like leading out, I guess, like a bikie gang, maybe. This is how I'm kind of the boss turning into all right, you came undone, you became an addict, but then you've now become like somebody people look up to so people wanting to get out of that life. So I don't think it was an easy transition, was it, guys? In particular, I'm thinking about another thing. I'm going to bring it up. I know you said you're an open book. I've never really met anyone who's copped as much fucking flack as you as well, guys. All right, if you don't mind, I want to go there for a second. And you know one thing, bro, I've always stuck by you. I know you know that too. But there was a couple of shit fights that happened throughout your journey on TikTok where fucking people fucking turned against you, like fucking police informant against you, like shocking bullshit, viral stuff that people were saying and doing about you. That's not an easy. How do you get through that, guys?
Well, negativity, I've done a lot in the last over 3 years. I've done a lot of soul searching, man, a lot of healing, a lot of reflection. Call yourself out on your own bullshit. Really just trying to be like, look at things and understand it without, it's easy to judge. And so I really want to dissect stuff and come from a place of love, we call it, your heart space. It's a higher vibration and try and not judge and understand. And what that, being an overthinker and a critical thinker, what that does is, I look at things like that as negativity breeds, bro. It's like a germ. It's like fuel to the fire. If Danny calls me a bald-headed guy, right, what can I do? I can take a deep breath and walk away, or I can have a crack back. And when I have a crack back, what does that do? Just spreads. As we know, the whole world's running on a lower vibration, and you see it on this app so much. And I copped a lot of slack on this app at certain stages, but I understand if I give it back, it's going nowhere. It's not going to disappear. So it's like that old saying, you've got to be the bigger man and walk away. You've got to be the bigger man and walk away. So and that is, to me, is that's a higher state of mind. It's way easy to just go, what do you say, cunt? And fucking have a crack back, and that's easy work. But I did that all my life. I had a low vibration going on, like just small-minded shit. And so now I really believe that everything's energy, Dan. Everything's energy, man. And nothing happens by chance. Everything happens for a reason. Mate, the life we walk is here to test us, And when you get tested and you walk through those challenges and you succeed, like without letting them become a version of your lower self because of that challenge, you don't succumb to it, bro. What happens on the other side? It's beautiful. If you shut one door, another one opens, and so I'm a big believer of all that now. I really look at tomorrow, and you know what? If someone wants to run into my car, mate, if something wants to happen to my dog, it doesn't matter what it is. If you want to put me if you want to put me in a wheelchair, watch me come back fighting for more. I don't care what it is. And that's really the way I look at life now. Maybe it's because of what I've been through that I've got that mindset, But, fuck negativity. I'm not having it. No one's perfect. I just like to be self-aware and keep trying to be a better version,
Hang on a sec. My kid's fucking yelling out at me. Amali, you can't just walk out the door. If the door's right there, she's just there yelling at me. Like, just 1 second. You think I'm in an interview?
Bless her.
You got it. Try that. She just wants a new iPad. Right? Like she's yelling out at me, "Come and give me my iPad." Sorry, guys. Gaz, did you ever feel like throwing it in? Like through all that, did you ever come close to just giving up on it?
On my path to be like a path of redemption, let's call it.
Did you ever question what you were doing?
No, there was bad days. Like there's times I've lost sleep. Let me tell you, because stressful situation. I still deal with stress today. Like it's just normal.
Yeah.
I've still got challenges. But nah, man, no, there's never been bro. This is my last shot on life. I had to make this one work, man. I've wasted too many. Like, yeah, I built a fucking empire. This is my 4th time at building. When we say empire, your little home, your nest eggs, whatever, savings, whatever it is. I've done that. This is my 4th time, and I've had nice little empires ripped out from under me 3 other times. Obviously from crime, drugs, jail, all the stuff, police and stuff. And I had to start again. Man, I wasn't starting at 5th time. It's tiring, man. Like I'm fucking, fuck that, mate. What I'm creating now, I'm fucking keeping it, and that's the whack, mate. I'm taking it with me.
It's really serious what you're creating now, Gaz. Like and I'm just sharing this with others too. Like, I've watched you grow and I've watched you strategically build. Like, I don't know if you remember, but what was it called before Home Cartel? The SKNK.
Yes, sick cunts, not criminals. Skunk gang.
Yeah, do you remember one of our first conversation was I was helping you design a shirt for that, right? And it goes back to your strategic stuff that I'm bringing up. Okay, like back then. I remember having a long conversation. I knew exactly where I was. I was down in our eastern beaches. I was down on the water. I remember chatting to Gary Wright. It was pretty cool. Me and you having a mad chat. And I could help you design a shirt. And I did help you design that shirt. And I just think about that, the strategy that went into that, and then also how Hope Cartel evolved. I believe it came through some online discussions as well. You've got a good team behind you as well. Let's acknowledge, some of your team members for sure too. And you built Hope Cartel, and then it just evolved and there's so much. And now what seems to be the biggest 9D breathwork person. I've never really seen it. Ever advertised or displayed the way you do it.
Yeah. Well, I definitely so I've spoke to the owner of 9D and he congratulated me and said, thank you very much for being, when it comes to views. So when it comes to views online, I think we're close to 30 million views on breathwork videos in 2024. No one in Australia, let alone the world, is doing that, that's a super high level of getting. I feel like we made 9D or breathwork a household name. We've only breathed a few people, plenty, but there's like as many people have watched it, haven't breathed. That'd be a beautiful world if we did. But I've got an end goal. And on the Hope Cartel thing, Dan, I've got some guys. There's some really big things happening in the background.
Yeah.
I'm on a do not disclose. I can't mention it. But let me tell you, mark my words, guys, in the next month, you're going to see a massive time shift, another path for Hope Cartel. It's going to be really big.
It's so good. It's going to be cool.
Good. So just stay tuned. If it's getting a bit like, what's he doing now? More breath work, this and that. Oh yeah. Well, just wait. I've got something in the works. I've been getting this one going on, and I just got it. It'll all be launched and up and running, and we'll show everybody what's happening in about a month's time. So yeah,
it's so incredible. I watch Gaz. One thing about you is, and I don't know if other people realize this, and something I really lack in is you do lots and lots and lots and lots of research. You know what I mean? And when I say that, and this is really admirable, bro, because this is why you're so fucking successful, because you fucking research and research, and you might not call it research, you watch stuff, but
don't read.
Yeah, you read, you fucking watch, and you learn. You take in every single fucking drop. You're a fucking bundle of knowledge that every person I need to know about or everything I need to know about. I ring Gaz, he'll fucking give me the whole fucking rundown. He knows everything. That's really I don't know. That's quite a talent, Gaz.
I think that's be just an overthinker. Maybe that's the ADD mind. I'm not sure, Dan. But yeah, I think when something stimulates my mind,
Yeah.
and I've got like it's good energy that my intuition's saying let's step into this. Yeah, it's just like I get to suck it up like a sponge,
Yeah.
and that's when it gets old, something new.
Yeah.
It's like something else is shiny. That is attracting my attention. I'm going to focus on that now. So at the moment, yeah, it's good, man. I mean, 9D's the go, guys. 9D is the go. And so can we talk about, Dan? We can talk about this. So, guys, we're doing an Adelaide event. I'm planning within the next week or less than we should have dates for Queensland. And I've just spoke to Dan, the man himself, and we're going to see. Don't lock anything in just yet, guys, but we're going to see if we can get a Sydney event. We'll see what we can do.
It'll happen. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I mean, I definitely will get the venue. I'm sure we can do that.
Yeah. It's all about venues, guys. So if you've got any venues in any areas where we think we can put some 9D breathers on the mat, let me know. Reach out to me, preferably on Instagram. Yeah. But we got Adelaide locked in. Queensland's about that far away. And then Sydney is in the works, so hopefully. And then you know what plans will be, guys, to do? I want to just tour everywhere. I want to just like a music show or a festival, whatever it is. Thank you. I just want to fucking hit up as many towns as I can. Grab me cases, grab me yoga mats, fucking throw them on the ground, breathe cunts,
It's amazing, man. Like around the world, like this is what you're going to be doing. I can just see, I can see you doing this stuff around the world, guys. All right.
So we need sorry, one more thing. I'll just send this comment, Dan. Your turn. So about 30. A venue, at least a minimum of 30, if anywhere up in 30. Yeah, at least 30. Yeah, okay. So what else, my brother?
Yeah. We kind of went through that story pretty quick, didn't we? We've gone right through the fuck. You and me can we've done this so many times. We kind of know the story so much. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your content creation journey? Because I think it's something that so many people out there admire, watch. Content is something that people can be lost in and consume, for hours and hours. And you take it very seriously too, guys. So like let's go back to those days in the early days. You got shipped off to Cairns, didn't you? You got shipped off to Cairns to go for a detox. Why don't you take us from there and talk to us in case anybody didn't know how Gary got clean and sober. He didn't do it the NA way like I did. By the way, I'm not big in the whole NA scene at the moment, Gaz. I've really evolved along all that stuff as well. But why don't you take us back to Brody and shipping off to Cairns and where you started your content creation journey? Because that's where the first video came from, wasn't it?
Yeah. So I was clean. I reckon I'd be lucky to be 6 weeks, 4 weeks maybe, anywhere between 4 to 6. It was early. I still looked like a fucking sucked on aspirin. I was, but I felt like on top of the world. 4 weeks clean, I was ready to go get life, And I was sitting at the table with my family, and Christmas was coming up, and I said to them, you know what? I think I'll get a little unit back in the area. I've got a few weeks clean. I'm good. I've got this. And I remember me mum shaking her head, me brothers, and they're all like, nah, man. I'm like, what do you mean? I'm all right. I'm clean. I'm good. I'm just going to go back to Mount and get a little unit. Me and Bonnie will be sweet. And they're like, you will not. And I had Brody on the phone at the same time, like, during that time and saying, come on, man. He'd bring me at nights. Come up to Cairns. I'll be like, yeah, all right. And then I'll be like, nah. And then it almost become like an intervention, like, between Brody, my brothers, my mum, people that were in my, Shawnee, Reed, they were all just like, fucking man, you cannot go back to Melton, bro. There's too much headaches. You've just stepped away. Who do you know down there? Nothing but drug addicts at the moment, it's not going to work. And in my head, I thought I'd be right.
Yeah.
And they ended up convincing me. They pretty much had to convince me, to be honest. My brother paid for the flights for me and Bonnie. and Brody put me up in an Airbnb when I got up there. And I got up there, just closed me back, me and Bond, and I didn't know what I was doing. Brody goes, come on, we'll go have a feed. Come on, we'll go get in the gym, see how you go. And I was boned out. And yeah, man, fucking, I remember Brody said to me, he's like, bro, you got a brand, bro. Like, I help people build brands. I'm in the social media space. He's like, you've got a hell of a brand. I'm like, yeah. And when someone believes in you, Dan, that's sometimes all we need in that. Just someone to believe in us, you know?
Yeah.
I remember a couple of times a throwaway line. It was like, oh, I'm going to start social media. But I don't know if maybe I was manifesting it. Maybe I believed it, but was just joking about it. I'm not sure. But a couple of throwaway lines. And then one day we're training and Brody's like, bro, I'm serious. Like, you know, you've got, and he labeled it, he went like, this is like tattoos, your dog, war stories, couple of gym reels, you know, like fucking, that's a package, just enough for your old life. You don't want to be in that life anymore. He's like, that's a social media package. That's what we call a brand. And I'm like, yeah. And Dan, I fucking never posted anything. You know, social media was the enemy. You know, from the world I come from, you had social media, you got pinched, you know.
Yeah.
From the era I come from. And so, like, I was like, oh, yeah, all right. So I opened up these accounts.
Yeah.
And I opened up these accounts. And then I was pretty much like, because I catch up with Brody for like a feed during the day and maybe go training or something. And then he'd busy, he got work and all the stuff he does. So it was just me and Bonnie in Cairns, you know, like just living our life. And so I had these social medias accounts now on my phone. And you know what I mean? I'm like, all right. And so I started posting this shit. And I just started, I remember recording it because it was almost out of boredom, just recording it. And then like, oh yeah, so you just press post. And I was just that guy that, fuck it, yes guy, I'll just post it. And then they started to get traction and then I could see, envision more. And I'm like, oh yeah, and built a little community and it was going live. And then I'm like, all right, they're all cheering for me. How about we get merchandise? And then there was a skunk gang and then that turned into, and then I thought I'll get some, you know, little bits of a galaxy light and we come down to Melbourne and yeah, I just kept growing, just kept trying to, what do you call it? Natural progression, I think they call it. Yeah. And then fucking here we are today. Hope can't tell.
Okay.
And then you say you do, what is it then? If you do something enough, you know, practice makes perfect. And so like, yeah, just got to keep trying. I mean, I look back at them videos now and it's fucking cringe as, bro. Like I wasn't on drugs, but even I look at myself and like, bro, you look cooked, you know? Like I was pacing around, I'm sweating because I'm in Cairns, no t-shirt on, I'm fucking talking like I've just done 100 years jail and this and that, rah. And bro, I look at him now and I'm like, oh God, man, this guy, I look and think you're off your fucking head. Like it was a screw loose. I was definitely nuts.
You look very different, man, like back then. Yeah, you looked unmedicated, you looked, you look fucking erratic, you know, like
unmedicated. Yeah, definitely unmedicated.
Yeah, unmedicated, yeah. And like you've gotten your medication now through, you know, just through calming down, isn't it? You know, I seen a comment earlier. He's on the spectrum, you know, and I guess that's kind of, and that's very helpful, isn't it? If you use that in the right capacity, and that's what you did. You learned, you turned to channel all of that energy and you know, and it goes back to you also. I remember in those early days too, you would research other people, you know, what was working for them, the hooks, all that stuff. It was really strategic. Again, I just want to say, because I've always, and me, Gaz, I'm not very strategic, and I think I fall short in areas because I don't do that. But I see you do it, and then often I'll copy, you know, I'll level up and do the same thing too.
But and in saying that, Dan, I remember you stepping away from the rehab and stepping into social media and working in the community full time without a weekly wage, you know, and have to create your own wage. Yeah. And I was on TikTok. I had some merch going on TikTok. To get paid for some views on Facebook, and I was just like, that to me at that stage, I was just like, this is what I'm doing. And then I watched you walk away from, you know, switch it up into a new world and a new income, and bro, you flourished, you know, you really thrived. And I was like, and that's why when I stepped away from TikTok, I had that, I can do this, man.
You do the same thing,
to do that, you know. Because it's not like you're transferring, it's not like you give from one job to another. Technically it is, but the payment's not there, guys. We've got to create it, you know what I mean? It's like, it's going into the street and deciding you're going to make money, or go and building a house and deciding that's going to work, and then walk away from that and just hope that something else pops up. It's like crazy. It's crazy to think how that transition works, but I made it happen, man. Like, you know, and I'm super proud of that. And that's why that's a big conversation for me, was walking away from live streaming.
Yeah.
And, you know, that was a big conversation, mate. That was huge, you know.
Well, Gaz, on that, like, guys, what Gaz is saying, and I just want to reintegrate that. Like, Gaz used to always say these beautiful things to me, and it was like, you know, he was doing really well on the streaming, and he'd say, "But Danny, look at you. You know, you've walked away from your job. You're funding yourself. You know, you work for yourself. You're doing all this stuff," and it used to make me feel real good, you know. And that was, as Gaz would always say, you know, that's his goal. And then, boom, one day, it just all changed for you. You know, you started running the breathwork sessions. You took it to the next level, and now you haven't been live on TikTok for 6 months because you've turned it into an income now too, Gaz. And I think that's again, it's just evidence to show that.
And I love that. That, to me, that's I'm very proud of that.
Yeah,
man,
you
because,
should
like,
be.
I didn't want to be known as the guy that just sat on and streamed and, you know, received gifts. Like, I really believe I was worth more than that. And nothing against the people that do. I mean, I'm a life experience guy. I can't judge anybody. Who am I to judge? I'm not in a position to judge people. But that just, it was I wasn't getting my self-worth anymore. It was a beautiful stepping stone. Guys, I appreciate all the gifts at the start, and, you know, our journey on TikTok and creating a community and creating a platform is a massive part of where I'm going, where I am today. But it was definitely something I wasn't content with staying with. I didn't want to stay that. You know, man, imagine for the last 6 months I've been sitting in front of the screen again, man. Mentally, my mental health's not going to be good. You know what I mean? Like, so for my self-worth and purpose and believing that I've got more to offer, I had to step into the community, man. And look what I'm doing now, man. I'm fucking breathing people, you know. 9D Breathworks where it's at. It is no bullshit, you know. It's the real fucking deal. It's a hell of a product. Yeah.
You are seriously doing, like, you have literally gone from that to seriously changing people's lives in a way that I don't know that there's anything else out there that's quite as impactful as the work you're doing, guys. Listen, let's break it down. What I'm saying is, you got rehabs, you got 12-step fellowships, you've got massage, you got counseling. What else is there? There's all these other things, but I've never seen a form of therapy be put as fun and as interactive and as I want to do that as what you've turned. I said you've turned it sexy. You know, you've turned the breath work into this sexy fucking thing, eh, guys? And yet, cunts are fucking screaming and crying, and yet it's sexy. People want it. People go, they're just like,
it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And then when we're trying, what my view on it, like the way I would word that, Danny, is we're trying to make it cool because there's so many people that come from the life we've come from. Let's be honest, drugs, jail, and crime, the streets, right? They're never ever going to step in a fucking yoga studio and do a no-handed headstand and say namaste. And that's the healing space. The healing space is very feminine. It's a beautiful place, but it comes with love. Yeah, love will heal. You need to feel to heal. So you need to forgive. Forgiveness is love. You need to forgive others. You need to forgive yourself. That's how you start to heal. And a lot of people will never. They're not built to step into those spaces. So what I've created is, I believe, is a space that it's cool to heal. You know. I'd love the thought of an Eshe with his bum bag and his yoga mat going, I'm going to fucking breathe this 9D shit. You know what I mean? Like, you know, that to me is fucking that's proper. And you know what? People from the streets, man, they probably, I don't like to put anybody's trauma separate to anybody else's, but, you know, there's a lot of fucking trauma in the streets. Let's go, you know, drugs, jail, and crime, shitloads of fucking trauma, you know? And so, you know, these people didn't grow up with mum was a fucking doctor and dad was a fucking yacht, you know, owner where he's doing his lawyer fucking degree or whatever. It's like these people grew up, you know, we're talking commission houses, resi care, DHS, you know, mum strung out on gear where fucking dad's in jail. All the shit builds a lot of trauma. Let's not lie about it. And so to offer that demographic of people a tool to unpack their pain, to me is everything, you know. And everybody holds space different, and I do hold space a bit like an ex-gang member, fucking drug dealer, whatever you want to call it. So, you know, I still come from a place of love. But on that note, guys, I just want to set this straight for a sec. No, as a healer, That's what we call myself. I would call myself as a healer. My job is not to heal you. My job's to show you how to heal yourself. I can't heal you. You know, I can't. I can heal myself, but we all have our own medicine. We're our own healers. We just don't know how to get to that medicine. So, you know, it's like I've got to give you the treasure map with the X on it and say, "Fucking dig." You've got to dig. No, I can't dig for you. You know, you've got to find the treasure. And Danny's experienced it. He knows exactly what I'm talking about. You know, you've got to breathe. You've got to face your demons. You know, yeah.
Yeah, nah, guys. All right, on that too. Yeah, man, you were just talking. The video you created today, I watched it in depth. A beautiful video. The way you explained how you want to make it almost cool, and you just like it was fucking beautiful, bro. And you know what else was amazing? That you and Lucas Williams yesterday too. Like you know, like Lucas Williams has got a lot of credibility in this trauma industry, and me and he have spoken about my experience with breathwork with you. I assured him just how incredible it was, and he wasn't too sure because no one was really too sure when you see it. You can't just see this stuff and think it's real. Me and Gary and I had a chat, and I said, "Gaz, look, it's probably not going to work for me, bro. You know, like this is this is like," and I think everyone probably feels that too. So, what I just loved is today and yesterday I've seen two very powerful videos, and if anybody hasn't seen them, go back and watch the last 2 days of videos because it just really shows how far Gary's knowledge is on this trauma industry too. Like it's not about, and Gaz, all right, Gaz, if somebody has been through a really horrific traumatic experience, how do you think breathwork can help them? Is that too? Can you answer that?
So yeah, I can answer. It's super hard to explain the experience because it's so, as Danny he understands, he's experienced it. It's so deep and powerful of an experience. It's you go to a very high state of mind, super high vibration. It's almost like an altered state of consciousness. It's almost like where you go when you take mushrooms or something. So it's super hard to explain the experience, and everybody's experience is different. But the science behind it, I definitely can explain that. And so, pretty much, to your question, my answer to the question would be, guys, I'll keep it less is more sometimes. How do you stop your demons chasing you in the night? How do you stop them chasing you? When you're getting chased by your demons, what do? The only way to stop them chasing you is to turn around and face them. And that's a big part of 9D breath work, you know. Yeah. You need to face what isn't serving you, you know. And what happens is the body stores trauma. So we obviously have a traumatic episode and it sticks with us. We store it in our subconscious mind, but that is connected to the body. The body, soul, and mind all work in sync. So you know we can go to therapy. We can talk about it. Right? We maybe unpack it on a surface level, but it's still in our body. You know, so you got to get it out, and that's why it's called somatic release. In one word, it's all about release. So if any of you read, I know a really good book that's trending in the holistic space, in the trauma space, it's called The Body Keeps Score. I can't remember who it's written by. I've listened to some audio out of it, but it's a really good explanation of what I'm talking about. So yeah, if you really want to delve in, it's called The Body Keeps Score, and what that means is, you know, our body keeps score of our trauma. You know, so, and if you don't, everything's energy. Everything's energy, guys. This is proven, you know. Everything is energy. We live in an energy-based world. So, you know, and we've got negative energy, positive energy. And when you store negative energy, that shit stores in you. What happens? You don't get it out. And as humans, we're the best at just fucking suppressing it. Oh, I'm okay. I've got this. I'm okay. Yeah, I'm all right. Especially men. Men are the worst at it. Yep, I'm good. I'm all right. I'm all right. You okay? Yeah, I'm all right. That there will emotionally, physically, and mentally cause you to be sick, you know? And so we got to get it out. It's better out than in, and that's what it's all about. It's all about releasing it out of our body. And we've got to go to a higher state of mind. We've got to go to a altered state of consciousness, you know, a really high vibration to get it out of our body. Hang on one sec.
Yeah, absolutely
Can
amazing.
you hear me?
Yeah,
Can you
yeah,
hear me?
we
Can you
can.
hear me?
Yeah,
Yep,
we
yep. So
never
yeah,
lost.
it's all about getting it out, guys. And so when we come back to self, so when we breathe, what happens is through the power of a breath, it's not the headphones that make you cry and scream. It's the breath, right? The breath. But the headphones is beautiful. The headphones is just a fucking, it is the icing on the cake. The way that in the 9D headphones, there's subliminal messaging, binaural beats, healing frequencies, guided by Brian Kelly, the founder of 9D, powerful playlist, all the stuff. And it's just to get put together you like a blockbuster movie, but
Yeah,
you know, through sound.
yeah,
Audio. It's like a blockbuster movie, but audio. And then you breathe. And the style of breath we do is a really intense style of breath work. It's up the top of the list with intensity. When you've got breath works and you've got meditation, there's no higher, more powerful, intense version of that than 9D breath work, which is holotropic. And so we breathe this style of breath. What that does then, it gives us a dose of our own medicine, which is, let's not lie about it, it's DMT. All right? You only get a dose of DMT when you're born and when you die. So technically, we're tricking the body into thinking we're dying. And when we trick the body into thinking we're dying, we get our dose of medicine, which then shuts down the frontal lobe, which is the thinking mind, our conscious mind. That's where we think, and we go into the subconscious mind, which is where we dream. It's where we store trauma. It's where we live our habits, values, beliefs. We live out of our trauma mind, our subconscious mind. And when we're there, then we can do the work. Once we start to unpack it there, then we can unpack it out the body. And we release it. And when we release, we're at a very high vibration and it all comes out. Those screams that you see aren't just like if me and Danny decide to scream now. That's not the scream we're talking about. This is connected to your soul. It's connected to past childhood trauma. I miss my father. I didn't cuddle my mum before she passed away. My kids haven't seen me. It's connected to that stuff. And we bury that. So when you're at a very high state of mind and this is all very, like it's clarity on it. It's really, like you're getting full closure on it. Then you release these screams and these cries. They're coming to a place that they've never come from. You know, we haven't sat there and connected at such a high vibration with our trauma like that. But in saying that, everybody thinks it's really scary. So everybody thinks it's really scary. And Danny will tell you this. Yeah, mid-journey, it's confronting. Mid-journey, you're in there fighting your demons. You're unpacking all the stuff. But at the end, it's like I said, it's like a blockbuster movie. So at the end, it's set up for you to go to a peaceful place. So at the end, we don't show that on social media. It's just a person laying on the mat. But mark my words, at the end of a 9D journey, it's the most peaceful you will ever fucking feel.
yeah.
True or not, Dan? Yeah, it's beautiful.
So
it's worth the fight.
Yeah, on that, guys, I just want to share a little bit about my experience. I love how Gaz just explained it, and I just want to touch on that screaming bit too, because people would want to know this. And you are guided to do the scream, but Gary just is saying like you're connected. So the scream's not just like me and him screaming now. It's connected to the stuff that's playing through your head beforehand now. But the tears, right? They aren't. You're not prompted. The tears are some fucking. I watch all those videos. It's something about this the breath, of course. You can correct me, guys, but it's the breath and the voices or the guided meditation. It brings the tears for me were really happy stuff. Like my experience is beautiful pretty much the whole way. My first bit getting into it was really difficult, but I was on this beautiful, happy. So guys, if you don't have if you've worked through a lot of your trauma and you are going to do it because you want to experience it, but I had the baddest trip. I was laughing, I was crying in happiness almost.
Yeah,
like it was so beautiful. And those screams, I did it because it said we're going to release that energy now. So of course I'm fucking participating, and I wanted to scream. And so it's and then the end bit, I cannot fucking sit still for 3 minutes ever, guys, ever. I laid there for 25 minutes without moving a single muscle, just like with this big funny smile on my face. Like it was just beautiful, mate. So.
And that's because it's also a known nervous system regulator. So once you go through the experience of 9D breath work, it regulates your nervous system. And I'll give you a perfect example of it, how it regulates your nervous system, because like this is how I experience it, and I do it all the time, and it's great. Guys, the fucking shopping for groceries is my fucking kryptonite. There's nothing worse in the world. It's like traffic. You know when people are blocked in traffic and it tends them bonkers. Going through the shopping center and I need to fucking find the bargains and I've got to get this and I've got to get that. But I'm always forgetting what to get. I fucking miss the bargains. I always just fucking buy expensive shit and over budget. I'm fucking chewing on my nail. I'm on the phone, kicking the fucking trolley. It's all happening, you know. I just don't like grocery shopping. Like, I need a woman in my life to shop for me. Dude, let's be honest. After breath work, right, I walk through that shopping centre without two fucks in the world. I can strut around the aisles for an hour and a half just throwing shit in the trolley, not a worry in the world. And that's after breath work because it's a nervous system regulator. It really calms you, like proper calms you, yeah.
Yeah, I had a mad buzz for the next 24 hours. And yeah, all right, Gaz, mate, fucking yeah. Look, let's Gaz, just I've seen a bunch of questions. You probably got them too. Where can people do? Especially right now, we're talking. How do people who don't know what is it again? It's 9D breathwork, and where can they get it done?
9D breathwork's the style of breathwork they do. It's owned by a guy called Brian Kelly. He's a real top G in the healing space. He's been around for a long time. But I've collabed with 9D, if you want to call it that. It's called So it's when you come to experience my breathwork, I'm the space holder. I'm running a 9D journey, but it's Hope Cartel. So it's Hope Cartel 9D breathwork, and you can just Google Hope Cartel and book yourself in a session every weekend. I breathe out of a space at the rehab for now, and also we're doing an Adelaide event that's on the website at the moment. We've got other dates coming. Same place you'd buy merch. If anybody's ever bought merch, it's exactly the same place. You just buy a product, you buy a ticket, you get given the address and the time, and you choose your date and you show up. So that's what it is, man. 9D breathwork. It's going to be big. Mark my words. Yep.
And guys, yep, you've heard it from me too. An absolute amazing experience. Gaz, it's been a good chat, mate. Thank you so much.
The link's in the fucking bio. Thank you, brother. Yeah.
So proud of you, mate. Gaz, what? Last question. This is a bit of a weird one. Not a weird one, but you're probably going to find it hard to answer. But how does it feel to be so in demand? Like, how does it feel to have people like see you? Oh, guys, I've hung out with Gary. Everyone wants to stop and say hello. And but what does it feel like to be in your position today, Gary? Like, you know, I'm talking the fame almost, like the stardom. You know, this guy who's built what you've. How does that feel, Gaz? Can you try and explain what it feels like to?
Yeah, for sure. 100%. And so, it's pretty full on. And you know, I love it. It's good, validation.
Love it. Good, I love it. You know?
But on that note, I think about it, and I think it's, you know, when you think the A-list celebrities and trending and all the stuff, like people want to be famous and rich. I think that's like famous and rich is like it's everything.
Yeah.
I hear that, and I think be careful what you wish for, Gary, because what comes with being famous and rich, I've heard a lot of ugly stories. So whatever my journey is, Dan, I believe there's paths set for me. I've just got to trust my intuition, go down the right path. And if not being famous and not being rich is on the cards for me, then I'll lean into it. Yeah. Whatever it's meant to be, bro. Like, you know, and that's why I would hate to go and say, I just want to be famous and rich and that's all I need. No. No, there's a lot more going on than that in my world and others. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, man, I'm pretty I like to stay humble about it, but yeah, I'm pretty well known, and but that's not everything, is it? I mean, helping people unpack their shit, that's everything, you know?
Yeah, well,
my karmic debt.
Look how you flipped it. Like, now you're fucking using that well-knownness to fucking help fucking thousands of people everywhere. Millions.
Yeah, that's where it's at. You know,
that's the fucking ultimate.
That's cool. Now that's cool. That's worth fucking being proud about. You know, isn't it? That's worth spooking. You know,
it's huge, man. It's huge, Gaz. And do you know what? My journey has been a little bit slower in the respect, but I honestly believe that with the work that I'm doing, and of course I've got lots of credibility, but I honestly believe that like I want to do that too. You know, I feel like my app encapsulator is we're getting so close to a point where it's different, of course, you know, like 9D breathwork is an experience and it's a feeling, but I want Encapsulator to be that also, that experience and that feeling too. And I think I'm getting closer and closer, mate. You know,
Bro, you've been working so hard for
yeah, mate.
Encapsulator.
I work so
And,
fucking hard, bro.
and you know, when you see something super powerful, you know, like in that video that you recorded to yourself,
Yeah,
bro, every time I watch that,
yeah,
you know, that gives me goosebumps, man. Like, you know, yeah, like I think Encapsulator's everything. I really do. I believe it's got places. So sometimes, you know, the things we've got to, that are going to, so the beautiful things we're trying to succeed in life with are sometimes the hardest to get, you know. So it's just, and you're not laying down and dying, bro. So it's got to, it has to win. It's a 100% winning formula. You
Thanks
know?
so much, bro. All right, guys, did you want to answer any questions or thanks so much, Hippie.
I might hang around for half an hour and talk to my crowd.
Yeah,
It's been
yeah.
a while.
So I'll jump off. I'll do the same for a bit too, Gaz. Thanks so much, bro.
Thanks for having me, Dan. It was
yeah.
an honor coming back.
Yeah, fucking hell.
It's good.
And guys, by the way, see, he's running the strategic things. This was Gaz's idea for me to start running these interviews. You know, I thought it was a fucking brilliant idea. So my TikTok has been quiet, and I want to get more reach out there. So Gaz says, Danny, why don't you maybe start doing some interviews? He wasn't talking about him, but with, you know, some of the big creators. And I thought, you know what, Gaz? And sure enough, I knew it was a fucking good idea when Gaz said it. And this is our second interview. Next week, we're going to have someone else big on. And I just want to thank you for that too, Gaz.
And you know what? Because you see TikTok live streams, bro, the whole community rankings where people live streaming, creators, influence, whatever. There's so much addiction that is just rampant through all of it.
Yeah, they're all
if they haven't been addicted,
Yeah.
you know, they know someone that has or a family member. Bro, Danny's the addiction guy. Let's not go.
Yeah, I'm lucky.
If not, he is the top addiction guy in Australia. If not, if he's
I
not
love
the top,
that.
then
Thank
he's
you,
the
man.
top 3, 100%. And
Thanks,
so,
man.
who better than
Yeah.
to speak to people about their story, whether it's a loved one or themselves, on a live stream? It's a no-brainer. It makes plenty of sense. So,
Thanks so much.
yeah, go get it, Dan. Get it, man.
guys.
Like, get those stories out of those heavy hitters, man. You know
Stay
what I mean?
tuned, guys.
Yeah.
All right, Gaz, legend, I'm going to drop this on the podcast. Season 3, Kick This Shit podcast. Big love, bro. Talk to you soon.
See you, my man. Love you, mate.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Love you, mate. Bye.